Hey guys, welcome back to Motorcycle Maintenance Channel. It's time to replace the front tire on this R6, so we're going to show you how to remove and replace the wheel. Stay tuned. First thing we're going to do is we're going to jack the rear of the motorcycle up. Next, we'll jack the front of the motorcycle up. Now we'll start removing our caliper bolts. It's going to be a 12mm hex bolt. I like to take the rear bolt or the lower bolt and put it towards the rear of the bike, and the upper bolt towards the front of the bike, so I know where they came from. You could probably switch places with the bolts if you wanted to. I don't particularly like to. I like to put them right back where I got them. Then we'll suspend the caliper with a bungee. Careful not to scratch your rim. There we go. Go to the other side and do the same on the other side. Next, with a 22mm socket, we'll loosen the axle bolt. And you probably want to use a breaker bar because it's on there. It's like 66 Newton meters, pounds of force. There we go. We're not going to take it all the way out though, we're just going to leave it right there. And I'll show you why in a second. Next, with the 6mm Allen key, we'll release the pinch bolts. There are 4 pinch bolts. And pinch bolts are just that. They just pinch, so there's no need to back them all the way out. They'll just stay right where they are. Come over to this side. Alright, so the reason we're leaving this bolt in right now is because now we can use it to push the axle out, just like that. And we can back it out a little bit more, give it a tap again, back it out a little bit more, give it a tap again. Alright, we'll remove it all together now. And now we'll pull the axle out. It helps if you lift up a little bit on the rear wheel so that there's no resistance on the axle. And it comes right off. Alright. And voila, the tire is off. Now before we send it to the tire shop, which in this case will be us as well, we're going to take these spacers off and put them on either side so we know where they go. They look identical, but nonetheless we'll put them in the same spot. And we're ready to take this over to get fresh rubber put on it. We're going to show you how to put fresh rubber on it, but you're going to have to watch another video for that. Alright, so we got our tire back from the shop and we have fresh rubber on it. So now we're going to lightly grease our axle. Some all-purpose grease. We're using Mobil 1 synthetic grease, but you can really use just about any all-purpose grease to grease the axle. Then we'll put our spacers back in, because you don't bring your spacers with you. One spacer goes on that side. They look identical, but like I said, I prefer to keep them on the side they came off of. Oops. Place our tire back in. Make sure it's oriented the correct way. Okay, hold it up there, grab our axle, and just feed it on through. There it goes. All right, sometimes those bearings get in the way. Okay, so push it through there, have it level. Okay, we'll put our axle bolt back on over here. And we'll tighten the axle bolt to 91 Newton meters, and with our 22 millimeter socket. And like you'll notice that this spins. There is a hex tool you can buy to put in here to stop that from spinning, so that you can tighten your axle bolt up to 92 Newton meters. Or if you don't have that tool, you can just tighten your pinch bolts up and then loosen them here in a second. You're just going to tighten them hand tight, a little bit more than hand tight, so that you can put the 91 Newton meters of force on there without it spinning. So there it is right there. And I like to loosen them. And I'll show you why here in a second. We'll eventually tighten it again to torque, but just for now we're going to leave it loose. There we go. The bolt that was here goes in the front. This one goes down lower. Okay, and that'll go on at 40 Newton meters. All right, go to the other side and do the same thing. All right, now before we tighten up our pinch bolts to 18 Newton meters, we're going to lower the bike. We're going to pump the brakes, and then we're just going to kind of push down on it and raise up on it. Now what this does is it trues the suspension, so we don't have any wobble in it, and it seats the axle. Okay, so now the axle's seated. Okay, we're going to come back and go this one because sometimes it'll get loose after you tighten one. Yeah, see, it moved a little bit. There we go. And we'll do the same thing to the other side. There we go. And we're all done. All right, guys. That is how you remove and replace a wheel on a 2013 R6 motorcycle. And I'm sure the same procedure applies to other year R6 motorcycles as well. Thank you, and stay tuned to our next episode.